Elden Ring is the first Soulsborne game I've ever completed. I've played a few in the past. I played Bloodborne and Neo most recently. I've dabbled in some of the Dark Souls back in the PlayStation 3 era. But I always got to this point where I just would get really frustrated and like, I'm not going to spend more time on this. I have other things I want to do or other games I want to play. And so I'm just not going to keep playing this and kind of go through this grind or the proverbial get good. But Elden Ring fixes that in many ways because it is more of a true open world. There are plenty of bosses or, just big enemies throughout the game that you just can't beat early on. However, you also can just choose not to fight them. You don't always need to defeat an enemy to progress in most areas. Yes, there's the real bosses that you'll need to beat to really progress in the game, but you can still jump around basically anywhere in the world and kind of, for lack of a better term, grind and level up. Although the beauty is you're not really grinding because you're kind of going on these big open adventures and you're not quite sure where it's going to take you. Maybe you're going to find a dungeon. Maybe you find these new weapons or new abilities or new armor, whatever the case may be, and it makes it so much more rewarding knowing that you can just, okay, I'm not good enough or I'm not leveled up enough to beat this part. Let me go back to this area and see what I can find. And almost 100% of the time you will find something that will lie within your abilities. And that's what makes this game great. It is daunting sometimes how many different things there are. I ended up playing this over 120 hours, I think, maybe under that, but over 100 hours for sure before just the final credits rolled. And there were still tons of things that I could do. But again, there wasn't the problem where I would just get stuck on a boss and be like, I just don't want to take the time to try to progress at this. Instead, I would hop on my horse or, there's plenty of ways to fast travel, plenty of waypoints that you can just go to these different spots and explore and, open up that map. And I think that is the beauty of this game. And I think it's a good example of how a Soulsborne game can be opened up to more people that, don't necessarily have that time to get good or just, if you have children like I do and full-time job, I mean, I know people can beat these games and are really skilled, but if you're not, you have to take extra time. And this was just a way of like, I beat the whole game. It gave me tons of time back because I spent the time I wanted to and I was still able to beat the game. And I did get frustrated on the very last boss. The class that I had chosen and the sword and abilities that I were using almost the whole game ended up not being a good fit for the end, so I kind of had to backtrack and do that. In addition, there are some technical issues. There's a little bit of frame rate slowdown. Playing at 60 frames per second, it still will drop every once in a while. There is a ton of pop-in when you're just traversing the world, especially on your horse. However, they don't really impact the game other than just visually. It doesn't affect gameplay or combat or anything. But other than that, terrific game. Definitely recommend it.